Okay, we have put all of our actors in position on the stage, and we've also written a script that will allow us to move our player using the arrow keys. The next step is to write instructions on when to show and hide the different actors so that they show up in the correct part of the game. Let's begin with the Start button. In the beginning of the game is the only time you'll see the Start button. So we want to start with a show block added right here after we put the player in position, or the Start button in position. Click the flag, it should be at 0, 0, then show it to me. Now, we want the player to actually click the button, so we're going to go to Events and get a very cool block called When This Sprite Clicked. This is your secret to building button-oriented games, is this event block right here. Now, when the player clicks the sprite, then we want to send the message, a broadcast, to go to level 1. That's when the game starts, right there. Now, as soon as that happens, we want that button to disappear. We don't want that button to show up on level 1, so we're going to tell it to hide. Okay, let's test it out right now. Okay, it resets. Yellow is my start screen. I click the Start button. Bell rings and I go to the green level. Everything is working great so far. Let's work on the player. Now the player in the beginning of the game is going to be hidden. We won't see him. So we click the flag, he's going to go to position, then he's going to disappear. He's going to be off stage. Okay, but we want him to show up as soon as the game starts. So right here in between when I receive and the forever loop, we're going to add the show block right there. And let's try that out. He disappears now. But when I click the Start button, there he is. Now let's give show and hide instructions to our 3 goals and our you win sign, and we'll be one step closer to having a complete game here. Now our level 1 goal needs a couple of sets of instructions. Okay, it's going to need some looks blocks. We're going to need a hide, a show, and a hide. In the beginning of the game, when you're on the start screen, you should not see the level 1 goal. When we go to events and we say when I receive level 1, that's the time we want level 1 goal on stage. So when level 1 goal receives the message, go to level 1, it's going to show. Now, when it gets the message, go to level 2, then we want to hide it. Process is very similar for level 2. So we go to level 2 goal. We're going to need a hide, a show, and a hide. In the beginning of the game, the level 2 goal is hidden, so we add that block to our housekeeping green flag script. We go to events and say when I receive level 2, that's when you show. Then when I receive finish, go to finish, that's when you hide. And the finish goal is a little bit simpler. When I receive, go to finish, that's when we'll show. And of course, housekeeping will tell the computer to hide our finish goal at the beginning of the game. Okay, our last script is the you win block. Okay, here's our you win sprite. Okay, we want to hide it, of course, at the beginning of the game. And then we're going to create a new event called you win. So I'm going to open up the menu here and choose new message, type in you win, click OK. And that's when we will show that. Now, we don't have all our messages in place yet, so we won't really be able to test these 4 sprites. We'll find out how they work a little bit later. Okay, so everybody's in their places. Everybody has instructions on when to show and hide. Things are looking good. Okay, we have a player that can move. We have all of our actors in position. They all have instructions on when to be on stage and when to be off stage. Now it's time to program the interaction between our player and the 3 goals. So let's switch over to player, and before we add any new scripts, I'm going to right click out here and add a comment. I'm just going to put the word move inside of this one, close that up, and I'm going to bump it against this right here so that it reminds me that this script is about moving, because the next set of scripts will look very similar but do very different things. Alright, let's go to events. When the game begins, which is when we receive go to level 1, we want to create instructions that tell the computer what to do when our player touches each goal. So much like we did with our movement script, we're going to go to Control and grab a forever loop. And inside of that forever loop will be a series of if-then statements. So the first one is for touching goal 1. So we need a sensing block right here. So we're going to go over to sensing, and our very first one on the list is the touching block. Touch that corner in there until we see that white glow, and open up the drop-down menu. Okay, when I touch the level 1 goal, that's when we want to send the message to go to level 2. So I go to Control, and back to Events. I'm already in the right place. Go to Broadcast Block and say when I touch level 1 goal, that gives me permission to start level 2. You'll see a pattern here. Let's duplicate that. Right click, duplicate, and tuck it right under the first if statement. Now when your player touches the level 2 goal, then of course we want to go to finish. Okay, and then we duplicate that one more time. And when we touch the finish goal, then we want to go to you win. Okay, it's that simple. I'm going to put a note on this one. Right click, add comment, touch, goals. Close it up and bump it into this first block so I can easily tell the 2 scripts apart. Now let's see how we're doing. We'll click the flag to reset everything. Everybody is hiding except for the start button. When I click the start button, the bell rings and I go to green level 1. And when my knight touches goal number 1, the bell rings and I go to level 2. When the knight touches level 2, he heads to the finish goal. He touches the end goal and it says I win. That doesn't look very good. I'm going to change that real quick here. Let's go to costumes. And can I get inside the box there? There we go. Double click and highlight, and we'll make that bright yellow. Okay, you win. Alright, looks like everything's working good.